the Auto Guy's music. It's his favorite song. It's Friday, and it means it's time for Mike, the Auto Guy Davidson of Parkway Automotive, to take more of your car-related questions today. Good to have you.
Well, it's good to be here, as always.
I don't know if that's really your favorite song, but it's
Well,
it's
actually, we're working on a jingle for Parkway.
No kidding.
Yes, we are very, very close. We've heard one take on it.
Yeah?
Didn't like it. We're working on it. So
do you need Beth and me to sing it for you?
You know, I should have thought of that.
You should have.
I'm so
no,
sorry.
really, you shouldn't. We wanted to mention real quickly, you're kind of looking for somebody to help you with a big project.
Yeah, we've got a big project where we're helping a village in West Africa have a shop, and so this shop would be able to repair the older vehicles that are there. So some of the older equipment is what they need, and so I've got some equipment that I first need to get to Canada that's going to be shipped in a box on a ship. You know, one of those big old thing, containers.
Big old container ship.
We call it a shop in a box project. That's what it is.
Okay.
But I need a shipper that can help me get things packaged and shipped to Canada. It would be a tax-deductible donation. There's a 501(c)(3) that's been set up for that.
Okay.
So anyway, that's what we're after. We're looking for a shipper. So if you work for ABF or one of the other shippers, that big truck lines, maybe it's FedEx, maybe it's UPS, and you can help us make a donation by getting that up there. That's the donation we're looking for, is help getting it shipped.
Getting it to Canada, and then eventually it goes to South Africa.
Then it's going to go on a big freighter ship to South Africa to help this shop get started.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah. Well, help him out if he knows, or maybe you know someone who can. Okay, Jerry is up first in Pine Bluff. Hi, Jerry.
Hi,
Hi, go right ahead.
Mike, I've got a 2001 GMC Sierra off-road. All of a sudden, the tow haul kicks in on its own sometime.
Okay. Yeah, I would first just go to that switch itself, because the tow haul switch itself can fail internally right there on the end of the shifter, and then it can actually itself engage. So as long as you don't have it blinking, that would be a problem with the computer that has picked up a problem in the system. But if it just kicking on by itself, I'd just go right to the switch. It's what we call a manually operated switch. It's the one that gets touched the most and most likely to fail.
Okay, go to the switch.
Not a big repair, not anything difficult.
Okay, thank you, Jerry. We appreciate it. Also in Pine Bluff, William is on the line. Hi, William.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, I have a 97 Lincoln Carrier, and it bogs down when I accelerate, and also if I'm running about 70 miles per hour, it just bogs down, and I have to get off the gas and let it roll, and then it'll pick back up.
Well, there's two things that are happening to that car. It's either running rich, which means it's getting too much fuel, and then when you try to add more fuel, it just can't take it. It's like drowning. It's just so much fuel in there. Or it's running excessively lean, where there's not enough fuel, where you would have a vacuum leak. Common places are intake gaskets or just simple vacuum lines, where we have just too much air going in and the vehicle runs lean. So when you try to accelerate, there's more air there than there is fuel. The fuel ratio we're looking for in all vehicles that the computer constantly tries to make is a 14.5 to 1 fuel-air ratio. And if it can't make that, then it's going to run lean or it runs rich, depending on which way the fuel's going.
Not just 14 and a half.
Yeah, 14.5 to 1 ratio. That's
Very
right.
specific.
It's incredible because the computers do that constantly. And I really just think about computers and cars as a whole and just how dependable the computers are. We very seldom have to replace computers, but you know, and they go for years in the environment they're in. They're shaken and bumped and, you know, cold and hot. And the ones in our home seem to only last a couple of years. I don't get that. So,
they won't even boot up. All right, Bob.
That's probably me.
Probably. Bob is up next in Bologna. Hey, Bob.
Hey, I've got a 13-year-old 350 dually. That's a work truck that I've taken care of pretty well, and I'm considering either buying a new one or rebuilding this one. Do you have any recommendations? In other words, I don't want to put a lot of money in this vehicle if I can't rebuild it to the point where I can get out on the road and drive, you know, from here to the West Coast.
You know, it's interesting. This morning I was walking in and I was thinking about my own truck. I have an F-250 that's a 2003. We just got that thing paid for.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, I've got 200,000 miles on it, and I'm thinking, you know, I'd like to see 500,000 miles out of that truck because I really think I can do it.
Yeah.
It really depends on what you've done for the last 13 years, Bob. That's what really makes a difference as to whether or not you should put some more money into that car. So the first thing I would do is just get a complete assessment of the vehicle. Where am I right now? What are the things that we need to do? Maybe the front suspension, the rear suspension, things like that. Let's see what kind of services those areas need. And then it really, as I said, goes back to how have you serviced a vehicle in the past. It sounds like you're the kind of guy that has probably done a good job of servicing that vehicle. And if you are, hey, let me tell you, Larry Burkett, who's now passed away, but he was a Christian financial counselor, he said this: the cheapest car you'll ever own is the one in your driveway right now.
As opposed to buying a new one.
As opposed to buying, I'm sorry, car dealers, I don't mean that bad, but that's true. I mean, just the depreciation that you lose and all of those things, the sales tax that you have, you've got to figure all that into that initial cost, and it's a lot of money.
Okay, well, good luck with that project if you decide to do it. We appreciate it. Let's put up the information about Parkway Automotive, and again, looking for a shipper to help get some parts to Canada. And if you work for one of those businesses, give Mike a call.
And maybe next week I can give you some details about the Cash for Clunkers thing that started today. That starts today, so I'd like to be able to give you more information about that. Of course, I knew about that coming several months ago. I've read a lot about it and want to be able to tell you, but time's up.
Right, time's up. So that'll be a good tease for next week. Thank you so much, Mike. We appreciate it. All right, stay with us. Beth has